Hello and welcome to Jesus for Asia Now. I'm Natalie Wood and my husband John is here with me in the studio today. Hello, love.
Hi, darling. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Very good.
Good. So what are we doing today?
Well, today we're going to visit some young people that are doing missionary work in Asia.
Okay. Well, some of these young people are very precious to us.
Yes.
It is so inspiring to see, especially young people, when they choose to serve God and give God the choices in their life.
So the first young lady we're going to meet, how old was she when we first met her?
She was about 10.
Yes. She has grown up.
Yes.
Her mother works here
Yes.
at Jesus for Asia, and her mother's been a big proponent of missions.
Yes, especially for the young people to get involved in mission.
She didn't grow up interested in missions, but when she became our friend, they started seeing the beauty of mission service.
Yes.
And so they became a big proponent of that. And now we have one of her daughters that went overseas by herself to a family in Thailand.
Yes, to a children's home.
To a children's home in Thailand.
Yes.
And she went over there by herself, and then later she came and brought her fiancé to see how he would respond in the mission field.
Right. In this first video, she's not married yet.
Yes.
But she has since gotten married.
Right. And we're going to meet her at the Nortons.
Casey and Robbie Norton went to Thailand, and God started sending them children. And there's a whole story, and we've done other shows with them talking through the story of how they ended up in Thailand. They now have a children's home, and that's where Lillian went.
Yeah.
So this children's home you can donate to through Jesus for Asia.
And how many children in that children's home?
There are 26 children right now.
Yeah, so there's plenty of work to do.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, so this is where we meet Lillian.
Okay.
Coming here and following through with my decision to take a semester off school and to serve as a student missionary has been one of the best decisions that I've made. Equally, one of the most difficult. I've been here at the Bantai Yim Children's Home in Sukhothai, Thailand for the past 4 months, serving as a student missionary. I pretty much help in anything and everything that needs to be done because things fluctuate a lot around here. Most of my time and energy just goes into helping and dealing with kids. That can take a lot of energy, but also a lot of fun and super rewarding. So I'd have to say that the most consistently hardest part has been just being away from my family and my boyfriend. But I was probably the worst homesick right at the beginning, and it's gotten a lot better as I've adjusted and everything, and I do really, really enjoy it here. There are other little difficult things, like dealing with snakes. Like we had a snake in our house just last week. That was not the first one. We've had snake in my laundry. I think the biggest thing that God's been teaching me, that I've been learning while I've been here, is just been to slow down and enjoy a slower pace of life. You know, at home, I'm a full-time college student. I have to work and commute and study. And when I came here, it took a bit to adjust because I'm used to being busy and I kind of enjoyed being busy. But just learning to slow down and, having time for really good, unrushed worships and time with God. And I want to continue those things at school regardless of, how much I have to do or how much pressure there is to study. We just get so busy and we start cutting corners in things that are important. So I'm just praying to be able to be really intentional about not letting that happen, so that when I go back to school, I'm able to be a healthier person. I'm able to continue to grow spiritually. I'm able to be a bigger blessing to people around me. And I'm able to stay in tune with God's will. And by doing that every day, I'm going to follow where He leads, and I know that He has a perfect plan for my future. So to anyone else who has ever thought about going as a student missionary, I 100% recommend it. Not because I was told to say that, not because that's what everyone else says, but because for me and from my experience, I can tell you it will not be something that you will regret. It's an opportunity that you most likely won't present itself again in such a way where you can just take that time off, where you don't have any strings really attached holding you down at home in America. You're going to be challenged in ways that you're not challenged at home, but you're going to be able to grow in ways that you're not able to grow at home. And if you're in a relationship and you're worried about the long distance, God will bless if you're following His will. And He has blessed me and Austin, and we have grown, both of us individually and together, way more than I think we would have if I had been at home for this semester. I'm extremely thankful for this opportunity that I've had, and it's going to be a really hard goodbye. Each one of these kids, you connect with each one differently, and you have such different and unique relationships with every one of them, plus all the other missionaries here that I've gotten to serve with that have also impacted and blessed me in so many ways.
Isn't that precious?
I love how she talked about the need for connection with God
Yes.
on a daily basis, and she's wanting to keep that. And just to see God as the one that she needs in her life.
Yeah.
It's really, really awesome.
I've recently been thinking about what Jesus says in John 14:12, where He says, He that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. And I've been thinking about that. It's not just the miracles, but Jesus did these miracles for people that society had cast out. And He did the work for others. He lived and served. He lived to serve others.
Yes.
And I think when the Spirit of Christ comes into us, then those same values will come into us too, that we will see the value of holding a kid in our lap, see the value of feeding children, of taking care of kids that have a really, really, these are kids that if it wasn't for this children's home, they'd be really susceptible to the flesh trade.
Yes.
A lot of them are from really broken homes. A lot of them have had abuse in their lives. A lot of them come from places where they don't have stable environments. These are the children that Lillian is ministering to.
Right.
And so this next video is after Lillian is married to Austin.
Okay.
Now Austin went with Lillian when they were engaged, and he passed with flying colors. Everybody loves him. And so they came back, they got married, beautiful wedding, and then they spent a year establishing in their marriage, working jobs, and then he left his job, and she and he went over to Thailand, and they've been there for just a few months at the time of this filming of this video.
Yeah, and their plan is to be there a year.
Yeah.
Growing up, I always thought it would be fun to do mission trips, and in high school I was given the opportunity to do 2 out-of-the-country short-term mission trips. I thoroughly enjoyed them. I think they were really impactful for me at the time, but I never really thought I would do anything longer than that.
I actually had a lot of exposure to missions growing up, all different kinds of trips, evangelism, building churches. So when I started college, I knew that I wanted to take some time and go as a student missionary. So I actually came here to Bantaim the fall of 2022. Had amazing experience working here with the Nortons. They had recently gotten like 12 kids, almost all at the same time, and I had come not long after that, and so it wasn't hard to find a place in all of it. So when I went back home, there wasn't a lot that was pulling me back home, and I really was hoping and praying that God would open the door to come back. And he actually did much sooner than I was expecting. That next summer, Austin and I were able to come back together.
I was nervous. It was the furthest I'd ever been away from home. Not really ever been to a place like this, but had a really good time, really great experience here. We returned home, we had our senior year of college left, and we finished school. We got married after we graduated college, and we were kind of talking. We both thought this was a place that we would like to come back to. We were praying about it and just trying to figure out God's timing when he would want us to come back here and help out. And we prayed about it, and the door didn't really seem to open for us in that first year of marriage.
We both felt God leading us to stay, which was kind of hard to deal with because it felt like, why would God be wanting us to stay and not just go since we're willing to go? But we had so much peace. God opened up so many doors, and we got to spend that first year really getting established in our relationship and our marriage and going through all of that transition together. And it was an amazing year.
But definitely during our second year, we felt like God was opening the doors for us to be here. We just saw him answering prayers that we hadn't really told anybody about.
It was a very big undertaking because it wasn't just like I was coming here for a semester and then going back home and my life would be exactly the same as it was when I left. It was like so much harder. It felt so much more permanent because we can't just, if something goes bad, we can't just up and pop right back into the life that we had before. Like, we had to close all of those doors. It was hard to walk through all of that. Our last month in America was the hardest. About 2 weeks before we moved out of our place, we learned that the Nortons and Bonteguim, all the kids, were evacuated from the property. They were all the way up in Chiang Mai, like 5 hours away from here. Sukhothai was completely flooded, a lot of water, like waist deep in some places. And at that same time, there was rumors of a war breaking out between Thailand and Cambodia, which, even though we're not near the border, like, that just seemed really scary. And regardless of the situation, we just had to trust God and trust that he had a plan. And thankfully he worked everything out, and the flooding had gone down, and the Nortons were back here on the property, and they had a place ready for us to move into, and that transition went way smoother than we thought it might for a little while.
That was talking about their transition from America to the mission field. And I think she brought up some very important points that a lot of times block people from actually making the commitment to go, because closing up your life here in America and then going is not always easy.
And it's so important to realize that this is what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not going to be just easy. It's not a cakewalk, because especially when you determine you're going out to serve for God, there's going to be all sorts of obstacles. But beyond that, there's going to be the hard things, you know, saying goodbye to the friends and family for who knows how long, packing up all your stuff or figuring out what to do with it if you don't want to keep it anymore. You know, all of those things that we don't realize are going to be hard.
Yes.
And many times they keep us back from making a commitment like that.
Yeah.
So the next video shows them after they've been there for a month talking about what it's like.
Okay.
So we've been here now for about a month, and coming back, my first thought in the car was, it's hot. We left Tennessee in the middle of summer thinking that we would be somewhat acclimated, but it's just totally different here. The heat, the humidity has been really hard, but connecting with the kids has just been awesome. I mean, they've all grown so much.
Getting to meet the new kids that have come, building new relationships with them has been really great, and it has reminded us all the reasons like why we decided to do this. Our roles here encompass a lot of different things, and they kind of fluctuate day to day, but I would say mainly helping out with the kids, overseeing the kids, and helping with the church plant, the church that happens here on Sabbath. I also write for them, and do blog posts and kind of a lot of day-to-day life stuff as well.
I've also had the opportunity to do a little bit of video editing for the project here. It's something I've always had an interest in, but never really had an opportunity to practice. And I'm very thankful that I have an opportunity to practice and learn and also help them at the same time. Another thing I'm really excited about is being able to connect with the boys here. I think growing up in this world as a young man is hard. And so hopefully just being able to provide some brotherhood, some leadership, helping them deal with some difficulties that they may be experiencing at this age and stage in their life. I think that it's going to be hard. A year is a long time to be away from friends and family and just, everything that we know and that we're familiar with. At the same time, I think it's a really great opportunity for me to learn to trust God. I'm a very logical person. A plus B equals C, and that's just how I've always lived my whole life. But with God, A plus B can sometimes equal D. And I think that this is a really good opportunity for me to learn to trust God with things that where I might see a logical solution to it, maybe God has another way, a different way. And just trusting that whatever happens is a part of His purpose and a part of His plan, and that He just has our best interest at heart.
There's a lot of different challenges that we have faced in this first month, and that I think some of them will get harder as time goes on. Some of them will probably get easier, but such as being away from our families. Also, adjusting to the food is really difficult. Just rice and vegetables 3 times a day is not what we normally eat in America. Thankfully, we have our own house and kitchen, and we're able to substitute, but it's just not the same. Even going to the grocery store, you can't find all the same things. Something that I really enjoy about being here in Thailand, but it's also really hard to transition to, is the pace of life is so much slower than what we're kind of forced to keep up with when you live in America. It feels counterintuitive, but by accomplishing less things, we're actually accomplishing maybe more meaningful things in that time. So throughout this next year, I think we will be able to grow deeper in our relationships with God, individually and together. If you're someone that has an interest in going to the mission field, it can feel really difficult to kind of take those steps, those first steps in moving in that direction. But if it's something that you feel like God is calling you to do, He works out the details, He opens the doors, He'll lead if you are following His will.
Growing up, I always kind of thought that you had to be somebody special to come work in missions, like a pastor or a doctor, or have some sort of special qualifications to come and do something like this. And something that I've learned is you don't have to be any of those things. I'm just a normal guy who felt like God was asking him to do something for a year and decided to follow that.
We're not doing something big and different and out of the ordinary in a lot of ways than what we were doing in America. We're really just trying to live a Christian life, and we're just doing that in Thailand right now instead of in Chattanooga. But it's more about having that connection with Christ and reflecting that to others wherever you are.
That's so profound.
Yeah, there was so much in there. It's like God's logic versus my logic, and them talking about, like Lillian said, you may accomplish less things, but you accomplish more meaningful things. And I love that they're learning these things as a young married couple. That's really special.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things I love so much about that children's home is, did you see the connection between the adults and the kids?
Yeah.
That's like, they really care. It's not like, I've seen some places where they provide a place to live and they provide food and they have to follow the rules, and there's very little personal investment in the youth. I think these kids are going to be the future of the church in that whole entire region.
Yeah.
such a beautiful foundation of who God is in their lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. So there's another young lady that
Okay.
went there as a student missionary.
My first year of college, I was at Weimar and I took a semester off and was home. And at that time, my parents were planning on going to India on a mission trip with JFA. And I was able to go on that. It introduced me to mission work. I'd never been on a mission trip before. And at the time, I was going through a bit of a rough patch. But helping those people and being able to experience life outside of America made me realize that there was a lot more, and I wanted to take a year off and be able to do that. So my time is mostly involved with the kids. Sometimes it can seem a little repetitive, or like it's not making that much of a difference because, you know, you just play volleyball with them or you read them a book. But one of the things that gets me every time, we'll have worship with Nam, Bao, and Gao. And this one time I was like, okay, you guys tell me the story of Noah. And they went through it really well, even Gao, even though he's so little, and they know so much. And I guess that has been really rewarding, seeing them grow in those things, because a lot of people don't know that. I think it's painted God in a different picture for me. It's taught me a lot about God's patience and love towards us. Sometimes there are situations where the kids are doing something and I'm like, why? Like, why are you doing that? And it's almost like God's just reminding me, like, you know, I am that patient with you. And it's made me more grateful of how good God is towards us. Sounds cliche because I work with children, but I definitely do think that the children have been the biggest blessing. They've taught me a lot about myself, my weaknesses, as terrible and awful as that is to admit, but you see a lot of who you are when you're put in situations, and they're not like crazy situations where, you know, it's so overwhelming and terrible. No, it's like the little things. They're also so sweet. Sometimes they'll just come give you a hug, like you're feeling down. It's almost like God sends them to give you a hug. It's like, she needs it, go hug her. And I don't know, they've been such an incredible part of being here. I've learned so much and I'm so grateful for them. I think short-term mission trips are great and they are definitely what led me to make this decision to come here. But I think spending more than just a couple of weeks, you're able to, I don't know, disconnect from the fast pace and appreciate what God is wanting to teach you in the slower pace. Stepping out of what you know opens up your view of the world. I mean, maybe not for everyone, but I think a big thing is you get to see the need and you want help. A lot of people who stay back home, I think they miss out on seeing that. They miss out on seeing the opportunities. I don't know, some people think that you give up so much leaving America and you do, I guess, lose those material things, but you gain a lot more. And I don't think that you would ever know what you were missing out on unless you did it. So yeah, I would recommend for sure. I want to go into nursing, and one of the things that I saw in that career path is that you have a big opportunity to share with people. A lot of times people are desperate, and so they're very open to hearing about God or just seeing that there's a better way. And I'm excited to go back and do that because, like, there are people also in America who need to know and who maybe they do know and they just don't get it. I feel like I wouldn't have such a burden for it if I wouldn't have come here. I think being able to see the need, you recognize that there is as much everywhere and that God expects us in whatever area that we are in at the time, whether that's in college or in high school or in a foreign country. God expects us to be a light for Him there and to reach people in whatever way we can, to help them, to be friends with them, to care for them in the way that He did when He was here.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. I love how she says that one of the important things that she's seen is the need, and that if you don't go, you're not going to see it.
Right.
It's really inspiring to see these young people choosing service,
Right.
choosing to make choices where they know that God's going to lead them to
Yeah.
people that need help.
Yeah. And I like how she said, you don't really know what you're missing unless you go.
Yeah. So what's the greatest qualification people need as a missionary? Is it age? Is it a certain degree? What's the best qualification?
Willingness to learn, willingness to do the mundane, and a connection with God. Connection with God really comes first.
Yeah.
And once you have that, then His values start to flow through.
Right.
You can serve, duty becomes delight. That's a concept in a song that we know. But that concept has always like intrigued me because I know most of my life, duty was what you had to do so you could do the stuff you wanted to do.
Yeah.
But in God, duty is a delight. And a lot of the times you see the missionaries, especially at a children's home, they're doing mundane things. They're washing laundry, they're cooking food, they're cleaning the house, they're taking care of kids, they're sending them off to school, receiving the kids back. Very mundane things.
Yeah.
And yet it's building character in the kids, and it's the kids that are going to grow up in the future, become a force for good throughout the whole entire community. I wish we could go into what it looks like, what it really looks like in a community, in an area where there is no knowledge of God. The kind of suffering that happens and this kind of difficulties that they face.
Yeah.
The Thai are lovely people, but bringing Christ into that in a way that's not like, it's not like pushing Christ on them like that, but delivering the principles of Christ into their hearts in a way that they can take and grow and develop into their own people, into their own culture,
Yeah.
in ways that others can really understand. It's a huge blessing. Jesus is a blessing.
Yes, Jesus is the blessing. And I would like to invite you, if you'd like to help sponsor a young person to go as a student missionary or on a short-term mission trip, or if you'd like to help in other ways, please contact us at Jesus for Asia, P.O. Box 1221, Collegedale, Tennessee 37315. Call us at 423-413-7321 or visit our website at jesusforasia.org. May God richly bless you until we see you next time on Jesus for Asia Now.